Hi, this is Natasha Lee from Divine by Design. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve a professional look with your manicure at home. For this we're going to need a few items. A bowl that you can soak your nails in, a good quality file. This has to be a 240 grit or less abrasive. I'll explain a little bit about that after. A brush for cleaning up your detailing work, an orange wood stick, some cuticle nips, polish and pads. To start, we're going to need bare nails. Now please excuse my nails, I do have some staining on them as I've applied some Vinylux polish when my nails were damaged and therefore the nail plates absorbed some of the colour. That's currently growing out at the moment. But with dry nails we need to start with filing. Now for this I'm using a 240 grit file. With the natural nail you shouldn't use anything more abrasive than that, and with files the lower the number on the file the more abrasive and the rougher it is on the natural nail. If you are using a good quality file, you don't have to worry about the seesawing action. Now traditionally we were told that we must file our nail from outside to in. That only applies when you're using poor quality files. If you're using a good quality 240 grit file, you can go back and forth no problem. Once you've finished refining that shape, brush off the excess dust. It's important to file your nails when they're dry, as when they're wet or have been submerged in water for over 60 seconds, the nails get more spongy and you could be more inclined to cause them damage, so always file them when they are dry. Now we're ready to do some cuticle work, and before we start I'm going to explain the difference and a common misnomer with regards to cuticle. Now these are cuticle nips. There's all different brands and styles, but basically they are to be used for cuticle only. And I'm going to show you what the difference is between a cuticle and an epinicium. Now I've temporarily dehydrated my nails so that I can show you what a cuticle is. Now people tend to think that the cuticle is this rim of skin that goes around the nail. That isn't the cuticle, that is living tissue, and it's a seal for your natural nail called the epinicium. It's there for a reason, and it's to protect where your nail grows, which is called the matrix and is under here. It's to protect it from infections. That seal is to sit on the natural nail. It shouldn't be forced back anyway, whether it be with an orange wood stick or a metal tool. It shouldn't be forced back. It should definitely never be clipped, because if you're clipping this to make it thinner, then what you're going to be doing is cutting living tissue. Then you're putting yourself at risk of things like a whitlow, so you should never touch that seal of skin that goes around there. And if you ever go for a manicure, you should never allow the technician to touch that area of skin around there, unless you have a hangnail, which I'll explain in a moment. So what we're aiming for here is to remove the cuticle. Now cuticle is known as non-living tissue, so basically dead skin, that sticks to the nail as it grows out. We can see a little bit here. That's cuticle, and you can see it's moving when I'm touching it with the orange wood stick. Now if you don't have a professional product to use, the best thing to do is soak your nails. Now we do that with warm water and soap. We're just going to soak it for 2 or 3 minutes. Now if you have a stubborn cuticle build-up, which you can actually see sometimes, it comes like a flap of skin across, then you might need to soak up for 5 minutes. Now I have a specialist hand soak bowl here, which I can put links to in the description. All the items that I'm using today, I will have links in the description of where you can purchase them. And all we're going to do is apply our hands into these and let it soak for 2 or 3 minutes. After you've soaked your nails, you're ready to go in with your orange wood stick. Now the key to this is gentle. You don't need to be rough because you've soaked, and just gently push back on that tissue and sweep round. Now I've zoomed in a little bit more so you can see this a bit better, but you might be able to see that I have got, looks a little bit like slime really, but what it is it's that non-living tissue detaching from your nail plate. And sweep down the sides. Okay, now we've finished with our orange wood stick. What you can see here on the nail is the released cuticle, and that's what looks white and fluffy, which we'll cleanse off in a moment. But what you can also see here is I do have a hangnail. Now a hangnail is when you do have a bit of skin that will catch, and if it pulls it could end up making it very sore. This is where we would use cuticle nips. Now cuticle nips are to be used carefully but extremely effective. You need to make sure that they're sharp, so if you've got a set that's quite blunt I would recommend buying another set. All we're going to do with our cuticle nips is go into the base of that hangnail, only the hangnail, not the living tissue, pinch and release and pull away. Don't pinch and then pull, because that's when you'll tear. Let's just see if we've got it. Not quite. So just go back in again. Now ready to cleanse the nails, we're going to take a pad. I prefer to use plastic back pads. These help protect your manicure on your other hand. And I'll put a link to these in the description. And lightly dampen them with a nail cleanser. Now if you don't have a professional nail cleanser, you can use pure acetone or an acetone based nail polish remover. And just give a good scrub. Now this is to make sure that you've just removed any dirt or any natural oils off the nail ready for painting, and make sure you get under the edge of that nail. As you can see, we're just wiping off all of that excess cuticle that's just come away, and do this to all of the nails. Now we're ready to start painting the nail. This is where you tend to notice a difference between a home manicure and a professional manicure, and what gives it away tends to be how long it lasts and how shiny it is. Now to get a really good quality manicure at home, you need to be using a base coat, a colour coat and a top coat. The base coat is to stop staining of the nail plate, but also it's to help it last longer. And the top coat is to give it that really shiny finish. Now I'm going to be using Vinylux today, and this is a two-stage polish, so it only has a colour coat and a top coat. But because I do have damaged natural nails at the moment that I'm growing out, I'm going to use a very pale colour coat underneath to stop nail staining. If you do not want to know where to purchase Vinylux, you can have a look in the description if you don't have a salon near to you that is a stockist. We're going to take the bottle, I'm going to turn it on its side so you can see, and then pushing that neck of the brush against the bottle, right up so you can see we've got a nice little well underneath of the polish to apply to the nail. We're going to apply it just slightly away from the cuticle area, push down to spread your bristles, push back without touching the skin and draw down. Go down the other side and the other side, making sure you keep away from the skin at all times. If you do make any mistakes, don't worry, we can tidy those up and just cap that free edge. Now just to show you how to correct any mistakes, I've applied some polish to my skin on this first coat. What you need to do is soak a pad with either acetone or acetone based polish remover and take a nail art brush like this one, which I'll put a link to in the description, and run that through that polish remover, apply it to the nail and stroke off. Now we've used a dark colour here, so you might need to do this just a couple of times, but you can see it's a great way of getting that polish off without it causing any damage to manicure. I'll also show you another option. It's one of the reasons that I love the plastic back pad so much. I've got a plastic back pad here and I've soaked it with some remover. Take the plastic side against the nail so you're not going to damage with any of the cotton pad your manicure, and just give it a rub back and forth. And always keep that plastic up against the edge of the nail, and you can use this all the way around the base of the nail if you prefer as well. You need to make sure that you correct any mistakes on your first colour coat before applying your second, otherwise it'll just magnify them. So now we're going to go with our second colour coat. And the same again. Push one side of the bristles against the neck of the bottle to get a nice well of your polish underneath. Apply slightly away from that cuticle line. Push your brush down and keep it horizontal, and push back, then draw down. And down each side again. Now if you've been super careful applying your first coat, you can be a bit quicker with your second coat. And already we can see a difference of just making that tiny margin around the cuticle area means that you don't get all the polish building up in the skin and down the sides, and that's what gives a difference. Now you're going to do that to all 10 nails, and then we're going to be ready to top coat. Now our final stage is top coat. We're going to use the same basis again of pushing the one side of the bristles against the neck of the bottle, but this time it's best to have a healthy amount of the top coat on your brush to stop you dragging the colour. Apply it exactly the same way and draw down. Turn over the brush if you need some extra top coat and cap that free edge. Once you've allowed your polish to dry, the final stage is to apply some cuticle oil. And gently rub that in around the base of the nail and every nail, and rub it in thoroughly. And that's how to achieve a professional finish manicure at home. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you want to find me online, my blog is at www.natashalee.info and my salon website is www.divinebydesignbeauty.com. If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm available through Natasha Lee and Divine by Design. The details are below. And the same for Pinterest and Instagram. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this has helped you.